Wake up, everybody, and welcome back to Ranking Sonic Games with me, Bander SN, here with the master of all things emeralds, Joey Spicy Fries. Hey, Joey.
Yeah. How you doing today, sir?
I am, I'm doing good. I've had a great weekend so far, and do you know why?
Is it because the Yankees are going to the World Series?
It's because the Yankees are going to the World Series, and you know
Let's
what's
go!
the most relevant thing ever for a Sonic podcast is talking about sports.
Sports belong nowhere near this ranking system.
We are both
until we start ranking the sports games.
Yeah, we are legacy? No. Generational Yankee fans.
Sure.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just something that our parents and our parents before them, not mine. My grandfather was a Mets fan. Had it in
my grandfather was a Cubs fan.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not grabbing propaganda for our stream. Let me get this guy. There we go. He will join us in our show. Let's go, Bombers! The blue.
Let's go, Blue Bombers.
the Blue Bombers, Mega Man. Close enough. Anyways, today we are reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 and Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. What an exciting time to be alive.
Very much so. 2 games? Wow.
It's quite an experience playing these games in 2024, because these feel like very forgotten titles. Things that didn't make much of an impact when they came out, and we've just had much better things after.
I'll be very honest with you. Didn't really know this game existed.
Really?
I've never played it. So this was a first for me, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I played it when it came out. This was like a big thing for me at the time, because I was like, this was my Sonic era. I was playing everything that was coming out. Whereas, like, you know, Genesis days, I only really played Sonic 2. Dreamcast, GameCube days was just rentals. So stuff I never really owned, but just played a ton of. This is where I was actually buying Sonic games, like playing them whenever they came out. So, Secret Rings, Colors, Generations, Unleashed, all those guys.
Sure.
Got Sonic 4 Hedgehog Episode 1, played through that. You know, had my thoughts on it. Never played Episode 2. It came out, I forget when it came out exactly. Actually, you know what?
It was released 2 years after.
Yes. Which would have been 2012, which would have been when I was, actually, I was about to go to college. So, this was not the time for Sonic for Joe. I was going to prom. I was getting MVP awards on the varsity cross country team because I was a runner. I had in time for fake running. I was a real runner, which is why today I could proudly announce that I ran 3.5 miles before this show because I'm trying to be the real Sonic the Hedgehog.
You're out there making Sonic proud.
Making Sonic proud. We actually got before we even get into our thoughts on the game, we actually got some pretty exciting news today about our blue blur boy. But more importantly, I won't say the color, but our boy Shadow. Because Sonic X Shadow Generations just hit review embargo. Reviews are out. Mr. Spicy Fries. I'm always just avoiding saying your last name. I don't know if you care, but it always feels like I shouldn't.
I really don't. Feel free anytime.
It was sitting at an 81 before this morning. Now at a 79, which, you know what? It's just Sonic fans. We'll take that.
That's not terrible. Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's sitting at 79. Sonic X Shadow Generations, 79 with 33 reviews. Not bad.
What is really the difference between this and the original Generations? Just shadow levels introduced?
What people describe it as, and I did not realize how big this was, like pretty much double the size of the campaign.
Really?
Yeah, which is awesome. Everything
so
that
way more levels are introduced.
Yeah, like just like what 6 or 7 shadow levels, both with an Act 1 and an Act 2, multiple bosses, like, and a whole like. Honestly, eerily close to Bowser's Fury hub world.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
So there's something. Sorry, I don't actually have my all.
Only a 79 then, huh?
Yeah, you know, we're used to it. We're used to it here as Sonic fans. 79 is totally fine. IGN gave it a 9, so that's pretty good.
Hey, that's fair.
And I absolutely love Generations, and a lot of things people are talking about are some of the issues with Generations as a game versus the actual Shadow. A lot of people say the Shadow portions really good for Shadow fans, which
nice.
I'm a Shadow fan.
I'll be running the original on my PS4. It'll be nice.
I put in my pre-order for Generations. I think I'll actually be able to play it a couple days earlier, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get colors done by then. We're going to be reviewing this game not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah, Colors comes next, then it's Generations.
Yeah. For reference, Sonic Frontiers got 71 on OpenCritic.
Oh, okay. All right. Frontiers was a bit iffy at the start, wasn't it? It had a bit of issues.
Yeah, Frontiers is interesting. I'm curious to see what you think of it. I think you'll like Frontiers.
I have started it, actually.
What's up?
But that's I have started it, but we're not here to talk about Frontiers today.
It's very different. Very, very different game.
I wasn't expecting cyberspace, I'll say that.
Yeah. I have thoughts inside the cyberspace stuff. Anyway, let's get back to Sonic 4. Like we said, it was released in 2 parts, Episode 1 and Episode 2. Episode 1 came out in 2010. Episode 2 came out in 2012. Both containing essentially 4 levels each. There was, final zones as well. And then you played the episode Metal. What was that about?
I played episode Metal,
DLC.
which was one act through each of the 4 zones from episode 1, with a few more traps, a few more enemies in each one. It was pretty cool.
Okay, cool. I didn't have time to. I was traveling this weekend, so I was really pressed for time. I was finishing it up. It was finish Sonic 4, go on my run, get groceries so I can survive, and then come here to do this podcast.
Right. Well, I won't lie. I ran Sonic episode 2 through the mobile app. I did play it through mobile. It was actually pretty fun, and it had episode Metal attached to it. It wasn't that bad for a Sonic game on a mobile device.
I played it through Steam, through my Steam Deck. It ran great. Both episodes ran great. I had a little problem with, I think the launcher for Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 1 runs through Java or C++, and the fix for it that some nice person made on GitHub runs through the other one I said. So I used that to get Episode 1 running. Episode 2 ran fine. I put the fixed launcher for Episode 2, which broke it, so I had to re-download Episode 2 to get it fixed. PC problems,
Right. They're abundant.
Yeah. So again, 4 levels each. I would like to start.
Go ahead.
Thoughts on starting with Episode 1. I'll just give my thoughts on both at the same time. Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 4. Again, I played this when it came out. I remember playing it. I had a friend he and I were playing it together. I think we did some of the multiplayer stuff. I don't know if that was just racing against each other or time trials or whatever. I cannot think of a game that more adequately is summarized by the old saying, "This could have been an email." Because Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 is so forgettable. It is one of the most, what are we doing here? What is the point of this video game? Because this is like, when you play New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, you're like, oh, this is awesome. Finally a new 2D Mario game after all these years, because it had been almost at least a decade since Mario 3, Mario World. And you're like, this is really cool. It may be a little bit generic, but it's awesome. And then Donkey Kong Country Returns. Wow, Donkey Kong's back. It's not the greatest Donkey Kong ever, but at least he's back. We're running through the greatest hits a little bit, but I don't care. I love this Donkey Kong game. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 is exactly that, way smaller, literally just what we've already done before, down to the enemies, down to the level types, down to some of the bosses, and just not adding anything new. It is just 4 levels from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 back again, and kind of worse because they don't
I
look
mean,
as
yeah,
good.
they're literally just copy overs.
Yes, literally. It's Green Hill Zone, basically. It's Casino Night Zone. It's Metropolis Zone, and Labyrinth Zone. Eh.
That name isn't even different. It's called Lost Labyrinth.
I know. It's just. I liked this game when it came out, and I think the reviews for this one are better than 2. It just doesn't feel right. The physics of this feels so funky, and this coming from Dimps, who made some really good 2D Sonic games that we love here, and we've played before.
Yeah, this was not that special.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just meh. It's just so forgettable.
Right.
You know, go ahead and tell me your thoughts on episode 1 before we get to episode 2.
I mean, yeah, it's just the similar thoughts to you. They're fun, you know. I like that this is their attempt at taking the modern Sonic and putting him into the 2D style. Yeah, it's fun and everything, but it's just not special. It's not great, you know. It's not something I'm gonna want to pick up again and again and again. That being said, having the honing attack in this, it was a cool little feature to have in a 2D game. I think my favorite part of it was in Casino Streets, and that was when you attack the deck of cards multiple times. That was the best part right there. Plus, Act 2 was just gifting you lives left and right with the flipping cards. That was my favorite part. It was fun. Other than that, everything else was so basic.
Yeah, just a lot of generic feeling stuff, and like, man, and we'll get to it when we can talk about 2, because 2 has this problem as well. A lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Too much water. We don't need this much
water.
Way
too much water.
Like a fourth of the game is water levels, and it's just like, we don't, like, these are the least fun parts. Like, it's cool when you do it, like, one level in a full game, but man, there's a lot of water. So much water. And I do not like the final boss. Something I've discovered with Sonic games, especially 2D stuff, is they really have a problem with, what would you call it? Communicating to the player what you're kind of supposed to do. Even in the original games, it's kind of hard to tell what you're supposed to do during boss fights. What is actually a hitbox? What is actually going to damage you? What is in the plane of contact with Sonic versus like behind and forward? The final boss had a lot of moments where I'm just like, is this gonna hit me? I guess it is. I am dead now. Like, great, wonderful. And then the final attack that thing has got is so annoying. It took me 3 tries before, like, oh, I'm literally supposed to just get out of the way and then homing attack its head. And it just, how am I supposed to know? Oh, by the way, I have my Pumpkin Hill Knuckles shirt.
Hill.
Yeah, this is Knuckles, and I'm back. I've been away for a while. In honor of Halloween. Yeah, Sonic Episode 4.
Speaking of Knuckles, I still have yet to watch the show.
Oh, well, good. We can make up with multiple episodes or something, or we can just the whole thing at the
True.
end.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, just whatever. Oh,
Very
and
meh.
the music is awful. What a travesty. Hey, did you get a chance to play this soundtrack?
I did not listen through the soundtrack, but the stage music was just, very generic for Sonic. Wasn't great.
It definitely felt like their A game was not here. I spoilers. It's a lot better in episode 2, but the music for the special stage was one of the most like rancid, like put me to sleep lullaby ass shit I've ever heard. Like, what on earth? First off, those special stages are so
I was
boring.
not a fan of the gyroscopic special stages.
So boring. You can tell this game was made for mobile. So boring. Music was so sleepy. I was not a fan of these special stages. There are no ball puzzles from Sonic 3. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
And yeah, and none of the stages particularly looked great. It all just looked kind of flat and yeah. Just
It was just fun at best.
Yeah.
You know, a good little playthrough. Happy I got it done.
So episode 2. Holy cow, this game is way better. So much better. I'm shocked because I heard this one was worse.
I think it was better simply because you had Tails, you had the tag abilities. That made the game way better.
Absolutely. I was so down going into episode 2. I was like, I've heard this one is worse. I am so unhappy that I'm gonna have to play through another set of these levels. And surprise, surprise, not bad. I think the Tails mechanic makes this game, big shocker, unique and interesting. It's a mechanic we haven't had before, except for maybe in Sonic Advance 3.
Well, yeah.
And it
could have been used in a lot of other games.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about it is it makes exploring a lot more fun. It reminds me of playing Advance 2, Advance 3, where you have Sonic, you have all the different characters, so you can play through Sonic if you want to through like a faster mode. But if you play through Knuckles or Tails, you kind of get this ability to explore levels at your own pace. And I think
like Knuckles, you can climb the walls.
Yeah, and I think that makes for such a fun first experience through a lot of these levels, where you don't have to feel like, oh, I just got shunted off of a spring. Now I'm halfway across the level when I want to go around that one little corner, see what was over there. And it just, your first go through a Sonic level is always going to be clunky. It's always going to be chaotic. You're never going to get the score quite right. There's always going to be that fucking trap at the very end that you have no idea what's happening, that loses all your rings so you can't get the special stage. I hate it.
Yeah.
But the Tails mechanic makes that just pleasant. It's a pleasant experience going through these levels because you have that ability just to kind of go back and see what you missed.
Yeah, or say you hit a pitfall and, oh no, I'm done. No, just activate the ability. You can most likely fly yourself back up.
It's great. The punishment isn't, oh, I just died on something I couldn't see. It's, oh, I lost a little bit of time. Okay.
It's very convenient for a Sonic game.
Yeah, I actually, honestly, I kind of like it, love it. I wish it was a little bit quicker to start up, but I guess that's the punishment for using it, which I'm totally fine with. I think that's it was a welcome mechanic. I think the levels were a lot more interesting in this one. You had the castle, the snowy theme park, which I thought was pretty fun.
The snowy theme park was great. I loved that.
The roller coaster level and the very last level in the Sky Fortress, which was just a carbon copy of Sonic 2, whatever. Did feel like I was playing on a roller coaster where there was a lot of sections where they just completely took control away from you. I was like, that's fine, whatever. But I think that's a cheap way of getting some excitement out of your level.
I think it's okay for one level, they get away with it. But if you're doing it, every other level, then by all means, take this mechanic out. It's ruining the game for me.
Yeah, or just reduce it half as many times. Totally, that's fine.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I thought the plane level went on way too long. That's always usually the problem of that kind of thing, is you're just like, after a while, it's like, can we move on? I didn't realize you need to knock the cannonballs back into Metal Sonic.
I was not doing that.
Yeah, eventually I was just like, man, why is this part taking so long? And I finally, charged into the cannonballs, and it knocked back. I was like, oh, I was supposed to do that the whole time. And I did it 3 times, and then eventually, buggered off, so I guess that's
again, not very clear with what you're supposed to do with the boss, or whatever you're fighting.
That and the actual boss fight with Metal Sonic on that plane, I did not like that at all. That was a little clunky, a little bit annoying.
Just a little bit, yeah.
And it doesn't feel good moving around on the plane. And I know that's kind of the point, but it doesn't make it good.
No, I agree with you. Plane level could have been better, but still fun, still good.
Yeah, overall enjoyable. If this whole experience was this Sonic and Tails team up kind of dealio, if the whole episode 1 was filled with this sort of, if episode 1, it feels like if we just gotten more original ideas in episode 1, and this mechanic with Sonic and Tails from the very beginning, this would have been a fond experience. People would have looked back on this as one of the highlights of Sonic. it is wonky. The physics of it don't feel like they're supposed to, and Generations feels way better than this, and Mania's above and beyond even better.
Definitely.
But it's just the genericness that just doesn't make this feel special. It doesn't feel like a celebration. It just feels like we have run out of ideas, so we're just going to use these things again because we need to get out a product by the end of this fiscal year.
Unfortunately, yeah, that seems to be the case when it comes to these 2 episodes in a game. I feel like, if they had started with Tails in the first game and you only have the hover ability, cool, and then the second episode they expand it to the spinning ability, I think that would have been great.
Yeah, something like that. Adding some much needed flair to these mechanics.
Too little, too late.
Did you have a favorite level?
Casino Street would be my favorite level.
For episode 1? And episode 2?
Oh, and then for episode 2, shoot, what were the levels for that again?
Oil Desert, the Snow Carnival, the...
Oil Desert, I'm between Oil Desert and the Snow Carnival.
Yeah, I was really, like, wincing when I saw Oil Desert, because I don't love Oil Ocean. It's fine. But there's a lot of spots in there, specifically those fucking seahorses, that really bother me.
Yeah.
They did not have the
seriously.
seahorses in this one. So that was nice. They had those stupid mantises in the Metropolis one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, these 2 games, these 2 episodes, they were a solid 6 out of 10 if I had to score it, man. But we're here to rank it, not score it.
Yeah, I'm definitely higher on episode 2 than I was for episode 1.
Yeah.
I honestly can't imagine why episode 2 has lower scores. It just seems weird to me. Maybe there were technical issues that I'm not seeing. I didn't actually look up any at people's thoughts on these kinds of things, which I usually do before these guys. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, we could talk about the story. There's important lore implications here. Did you know that?
Oh, is there important lore implications? I couldn't tell with no voice lines, no cutscenes. There's 2 very small cutscenes in the second game, but go ahead.
Because I was a little confused. I was like, what is this second planet doing here? Why is there a second planet? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Until reading the plot synopsis for this and understanding that that's Little Planet from Sonic CD.
Oh.
AKA where we defeated Metal Sonic before. And it has finally come back into the orbit of Earth from the last time in Sonic CD, allowing Eggman to go get Metal Sonic again, bring him back and use him to try to get back his Death Egg robot space station thingy plan again, to do that whole thing again. So that's the plot of the game.
I wish they would have shown, a little bit of that, him going and getting Metal and everything.
I think if you get all the Chaos Emeralds and you finish episode 1, you get that as the secret ending. That was like a tease.
I did not see that when I finished it. Might have skipped it by accident. But I did have all Chaos Emeralds in 1. I didn't get them in 2.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't talk about the special stages in 2. No, I didn't do either one of them because I knew there wasn't like a final boss to get there.
When it comes to the special space, wow, my brain just rewired there. When it comes to the special stages, I would have to say I enjoyed them a little bit more in 1 than I did for 2. 2 just felt so bland, running back and forth trying to get rings. At least with 1, there was a challenge to, tilt and get it just right.
Yeah, they were a lot easier. Obviously, they're based on Sonic 2. They're way easier. There's a lot more like things that just kind of slow you down, I guess. I didn't hate them. I actually like these better than 1, mostly because the music and the energy was a little bit better. They just don't look as good as when you're running through the pixel art style. This just doesn't feel quite right.
It doesn't flow right.
Yeah. I think what was I going to say? I was going to say that I was in my head. I was literally going to repeat the thought of I think the special stages in 2 are better than 1, but
he really wants to hit it home hard.
It's like, again,
2 was better than 1.
Once more, a feeling you need to know. bosses wise, any boss that stood out to you? Nothing.
I mean, I liked the pendulum boss in the first stage of episode 1. That one was just, fun.
Nostalgic.
Classic Eggman boss. Yeah, exactly.
That was the point where I was just like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
The final boss in 2 with the rings. Was that the final boss or was that the semi-final boss?
The boss.
You know the one I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. That one was a lot of fun. It was very challenging. I loved the different stages as it kept going.
Yeah, my only problem with that one was that it was slow. It just like, I don't like when, especially when it's like every time you hit him, take away control, little cutscene, throw you back at the start. It's just like we can speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, there was no need for that every single time, but I found myself abusing the tail abilities the entire time, literally just hovering in and then smashing them with the attack. And
I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think that's what it's meant for. And once I realized
perfect. I did it just right.
Yeah. There's a part where, in the race with Metal Sonic?
Yes.
I used the ball, the spin ball.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was using it too.
I was just like, oh, way easy. Not even a challenge.
Very much so.
It's funny how those abilities kind of work. I can't tell if they're meant to do that. If this is supposed to be like now you get to do, now with the power of teamwork, this is much easier or whatever. But fun enough.
Definitely fun enough.
Yeah, what is it? The oil ocean boss I liked. It was the Eggman, it was the Eggman scrap robot
The scrap metal bot, yeah, that one was cool.
I like that a lot. I like the chase at the end. A lot of a pretty nice range of things you get to do with that. Figuring out that like, oh, I need to do the spin ball into his little toesies to kill him. Fun.
Yeah, it took me a second to figure that one out. I didn't see it flashing at first. The pinball boss in episode 1, that's a classic. I loved it.
Yeah. It just felt like, we've been here before.
Yeah.
Been here, done that.
Nothing special.
Again. Not terrible, not bad by any means. Just unremarkable in a sense. That's okay.
Very meh.
Crime. It's okay. We'll still sell this on. There was like a mandate from Sega, like 6 or 7 years ago, where they're like, we're gonna delist all the bad Sonic games. Anything that's doing damage to the brand, we're getting rid of. You know what? Sonic the Hedgehog Episode 1? Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 and Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. Not delisted! Not damaging the brand! They can stay! They're allowed! They've passed the test! They can leave with their dignity. Unlike Sonic 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, and the Storybook games.
How terrible is that?
And boom.
That is wrong.
Yep.
Absolutely wrong.
I feel like there's something there's something in my noodle that I was supposed to bring in today that I'm trying to remember and figure out. What was it? It's kind of weird that Generations doesn't reference this game at all, even though this came out. Well, no, this game came out way too close to Generations. This came out after Colors.
Really? It did?
Yeah. We're only doing this now because we needed a break from 3D games.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, this was a nice break.
Yeah, Colors came before this. That's why it had a level in Generations. But yeah, Generations didn't have anything for Sonic 4. Gotcha. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of all we have to say, right?
A very bare bone review for a very bare bone game.
Yeah. There was actually plans for a third episode, depending on the sales and reception of the game, but I don't think it did well enough to really warrant it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna rant some more. I was gonna be a petty bitch again. So I'm going to.
Go off.
It's just so sad. This game, it just kind of feels pathetic in a sense, where you have these great Advance games. Advance 1, Advance 2, Advance 3, great. Rush Adventure's okay. Really good games. The 2D line of Sonic was alive and well on the handhelds. But then all of a sudden, and even with dimps, they're like, y'all, we're doing it. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is real. It's happening. The big boys are here. We're back. We're doing the one you all want. It's coming to consoles. None more of this Nintendo DS baby shit. It's coming to Xbox 360 and mobile platforms. Today, we're here to show you Sonic the Hedgehog episode, and it's just, what are we doing? There was no creative energy. There was no spark of inspiration to make this game make sense. Remember what I said about Black Knight, how marketing runs these games, not creatives?
Yeah.
This is case in point. Sonic the Hedgehog episode 1 is such a marketing beat of like, it's 2D Sonic back, but with the modern flair. You got the homing attack, baby, and you get to learn how 2D Sonic learns how to do the homing attack in Sonic Generations, coming up in 2 weeks. It's just so generic. You know what? There is already a Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's called Sonic Adventure 1. There is already a Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's called Sonic Advance 1. There is already a motherfucking Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's called Sonic Mania. We'll get to that later. Anyway, let's rank this shit.
Let's get to it.
Here's our list today.
Read off the list.
I'm reading off the list.
You do it.
Oh, sorry, you did it last week, so I'm doing this one.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Number 1, we have the great Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Number 3, Sonic Adventure 1, the real Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Number 4, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Rush, Sonic Advance 3, Sonic 3, Sonic Unleashed for the Wii, Sonic the Movie 2, Sonic Unleashed for 360, Sonic the Movie, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Rush Adventure, Sonic CD, Sonic Advance 4, the real Sonic 4, Sonic 1, Sonic and the Black Knight, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic and the Secret Rings, and Sonic 06. Today we are reviewing both Episode 1 and Episode 2 separately, 2 separate pieces to this list.
Twofer.
Just like we did with Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3. Mr. Spicy Fries, let's start with Sonic Episode 1. Your thoughts?
I can't put this above Advance 1.
Neither could I. The real Sonic 4.
I don't think... Man. I'm tempted to put this at the 18 spot, below Sonic and the Black... No. 19. Under Sonic and the Black Knight.
Honestly, yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's exactly where it should go. It's Sonic and the Black Knight at least try something. It's at the very modicum of being such a stupid idea, it's at least got heart. This game has none of that.
No, just the copy and paste.
Copy and paste is such a good explain. It's like copy and paste run through the 3D into the 3D machine. It's like this is literally the plot of the Chip and Dale movie.
Oh gosh.
They took the Sonic games and put it through the CG machine, and this is what popped out.
This is the monstrosity it gave us.
Yes, the Seth Rogen like weird dude. That's not. I did Peter Griffin. I don't know if I do a good Seth Rogen. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a great spot for it. Sonic 4 Episode 1. I'll start with Sonic 4 Episode 2. I like it. I enjoy this game. I kind of would want to go back through and see more of it if I had more time, as usual. I think they try something. It's competent. It works. Mm-hmm. None of it is horrendous. I think it goes under Sonic 1, right above Black Knight.
Yeah, that works for me.
I think Sonic 1 is kind of... I might have to go back and replay Sonic 1 and really try again. Because I'm always like, should Sonic 1 be that low? I kind of use it as a barometer of like good to of the good games, and I don't think I could put episode 2 above Sonic 1. I think that's just that would be sacrilegious.
I feel like when we get down to the final ranking and we have everything ranked, I feel like you and I should be granted each 2 re-ranks that we feel 2 titles that we have enjoyed through this series should go somewhere else.
Hold up.
And see. Okay.
Oh. I was like, all of a sudden, all the audio cut out. I was like, what is happening right now? Did my earbuds die? I haven't gotten the low battery thing. And I see Trevor Snapchat calling me, interrupting my thing.
Good. Thanks, Trevor.
That's what happened. Sorry, please repeat yourself. I did not catch any of that. Re-rankings?
I was saying, I feel like once we get down and everything is ranked at the end, you and I should be granted 1 or 2 re-ranks. We can pick 1 or 2 titles out of this and see if we agree on them going in a different spot.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because it's like having to go back and think about like, is Sonic 1 better than like Advance 2? Like that's hard to say because it's like I haven't played Advance 2 in years, but what I'm going to do for sure is play them through the Origins collection, because like I played them through that PS2 collection I have, which is a little clunky. So playing them in a modern sense with like rewinds and save states and all that stuff, I think that'll be a much better experience for Sonic 1 and CD, and maybe even Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, and I definitely think I'm going to go back and play a little bit more Heroes, maybe on actual hardware if I can, because I feel like I feel like the PC version I played was not the right way to go through that game.
Didn't hit? Okay.
Yeah,
console is definitely the way to go.
Oh, did
you? Because he's still
calling again. Does he need something? Something important happening?
Calling. I don't know. We're almost done. Come on.
Trevor, you are live on Ranking Sonic Games. What can we do for you?
Welcome, Trevor. I can't hear him if he's talking.
Burr, 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 burr. Thank you, Mr. Trevor, for that award-winning piece of journalism. I'm going to turn off my Bluetooth on my phone, and that won't happen again. Apologies for that. Who let that guy
I don't think his audio even came through.
Oh. He said Sonic 06 was the greatest game ever. So
I didn't hear him.
It kind of blurbed into my microphone, so maybe it kind of...
Thanks for coming by, Trevor.
I realized I did not have it on. I didn't have it on speaker. It was just playing through my earbuds. Great. Just great. What a terrible show. Sonic 4 episode 2. Let me make sure this is in the right font format. What size?
What a wonderful time.
Pump. File. Export. Quick export. List overview. Here we go. There we go. Those numbers actually do light up. Great. Holy cow, we're on 23 games. Can you believe that?
We're almost there.
Games. We're almost there. All right. Jesus. That's Sonic the Hedgehog episode 4. May we never speak of this again.
Maybe one day. One day when we look back.
Yeah, I don't know if I could possibly talk more about these games. I don't think there's a modicum of sentence and vocabulary in my breath that could speak more upon this game. Next week, we are coming... Actually, I guess... we won't do this. Sonic Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 was in 18, then Black Knight, then Episode 1, then Shadow, then Secret Rings, then 06. Whatever. Next week, we are returning to the Nintendo Wii. At least I think Joey is, because I'm going to Sonic Colors
Definitive
Edition? Deluxe Edition? Remastered?
Ultimate Edition.
Huh?
I will be playing through two perspectives, Wii and DS. We won't be ranking the DS, but I'm still going to give it a try.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Trev in the chat, who is a moderator, who let him be a moderator, says, "Behold, I have arrived."
You madman, you did that.
I don't remember approving that job title. Who gave him that? Who gave him that wrench? Yeah, next week we'll be doing Sonic Colors, and then our first new game in this whole thing. We're going to be doing Sonic Generations, Sonic X Shadow Generations. Where?
Well, new for you. Enjoy.
Oh. Well, maybe I could get you. Maybe we'll stream that game together, so you can just watch me play.
That'd be cool.
So we have like.
But I mean, I have a copy. I'll be playing it on my PS4, so I'll play the original anyways.
Well, so you get the shadow parts.
Okay.
Because we're going to be reviewing Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations as two separate titles. Once again.
Oh, okay. All right. So then, when you do the Shadows stream, and I'll be there to watch.
Yeah, so that we can get all the juicy lore. Make sure you watch the Sonic, the Shadow Generations animated specials on YouTube before.
Yes,
critical lore
most
in
definitely.
Those. And then we'll be on our way. We are, goodness, how many days away from Sonic 3? Sonic 3. It is arriving on December 20th. So we have
smokes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 more weeks. 8 more weeks of Sonic. Knuckles saw his shadow.
Months.
Knuckles saw his shadow. Interesting. So let's see. We have Colors. Let's see. We have 8 games. Colors, Generations, Lost World, Frontiers, Forces, Superstars, Mania. One more. And
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
There's one more, isn't there?
We're not doing Sonic Chronicles.
No Sonic Chronicles. I
No
have
shame. I have it too.
So let me make sure we have this right. So next week, 27th, we're doing Colors. 3rd, we're doing Generations. 10th, we're doing Lost World. 17th, we're doing Mania. 24th, we're doing Forces. The 1st, we're doing Frontiers. The 8th, we're doing Superstars? What are we missing? 15th? Are we ahead 1 week?
I don't know. No way. Hang on. I'm getting the doc.
Maybe I thought we were doing episode 1 and episode 2 separately, and then I said let's just go through them together.
Maybe so.
Sonic.
I'm looking right
games.
now at the list.
Olympic Sonic Mets. You'll never make it. Oh, Mr. Trevor, you missed our. Oh shoot. Never mind. Forget that. We had a picture of Sonic in a Yankee hat up here. Hang on. Let me see. Okay. Looking at the games. We're not doing Boom, Mania, Superstars.
No. Colors, Generations, Lost World, Mania, Forces, Sonic
Frontiers.
the first movie, Frontiers, Sonic the movie 2, Superstars, Knuckles, Sonic the movie 3.
Yeah.
The third movie.
What's what about when does that thing come out? You know what? We might just have time for a special week in which we do Sonic Rumble. No, you know what we got to do? Okay, if we have the extra week, we'll see. Okay, so we'll see what happens because we're gonna be entering holidays. So who really knows what we're gonna have time for? Right?
When does that new Fall Guys-esque Sonic game come out?
Sometime in the winter.
Is that what? Is that Superstars?
Rumble. Superstars is like the 2D game that came out last year.
Oh, right. Okay, my bad.
So depending on the timing, because we have one extra week, but we're going into holiday time. So I imagine Thanksgiving, we'll see what we actually have time for here. We will try to do Rumble when it comes out, just for fun. I'm going to have you play through The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and we'll rank that too, because that game is, I am 100% not kidding, actually great. It's fun. It's really fun. Very cute. Very, very fun.
I believe you.
I honestly, I would put that above Sonic the movie.
Okay. All right. Not in the top 10,
and it's free.
But
free game.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, if we have time, we'll get those two. Maybe we'll see some of the extra stuff. Who knows?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, Sonic 4 has been ranked
and reviewed.
And we'll see you next week for Sonic Colors.
I am very excited for Sonic Colors.
Yes, it's going to be.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Has been Joey Spicy Fries, the master of all things emeralds. This has been Bander SN, the owner of this channel that forces his friends to play Sonic games for his entertainment. Thank you all for watching.
I enjoy them.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.